So good evening, everybody. So let's start. First of all, I am thank you to all of you all for joining us on a Sunday evening, and thank you to all the members, core committee members of Agni, for having invited us to share our thoughts in such uncertain times. So I am Sameer Arora. I am partner at ATMS, and I have been joined by my partners. So let me introduce them to you all before I start. So let me just call out the name, and they could say hi to you. We have Suhas with us. Suhas.
Hello, everybody.
We have Vishnu with us.
Yeah, hi, good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Vishnu. We have Janvi with us.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Janvi, and we have Deepak with us.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Deepak. So what we will do is I'll just set some context. So we will do a presentation. I have a presentation and I'm going to be leading the presentation. So presentation would be for 35 to 40 minutes. Post the presentation, we will open it for a Q&A. While I'm talking, if you have some questions, you could type it in the Q&A section that we have. When you type it, my other partners will try to answer them while I'm talking. And we also have a raise hand there, which allows us to know that you want to talk. So in case you have a question which is a bit complicated, or you need you need to talk about it, just raise hand and we will allow you to talk. But we would be able to take all the questions with the raise hand only post I've stopped speaking, because it will be difficult for me to actually look into who's raised hand. So post I have stopped after 35-40 minutes, we can also take up questions by raised hand. I would request that not to put questions on chat. Difficult for us to have a look and give precise answers to the person who's asking, because it all gets consolidated at a place and then our replies also start going to everybody. So if you can put it on the Q&A section, it will be good. It will be easier for us. And I think we have all exchanged our good evenings, so let's keep the chat box away with the good evenings. And once again, thank you all. So right now we are 72 of us, and thank you all 72 people for joining us on time, and I'm sure a lot of people would be joining in course of time. So I'll start with my presentation, and yeah, so this is our firm name. Our firm name is called ATMS & Co LLP. We are a firm of chartered accountants. You see the partners here. One of the partners has not attended. So we are the partners here, and we are a team of 12 chartered accountants, 3 lawyers and 3 company secretaries. We have a team of 120. And so we are grateful for all of you all to be attending and giving us a chance to share our thoughts. So financial and cash flow management in uncertain times. So this is the topic for today. So we all know that, these are uncertain times. None of us, or maybe even our parents, would have faced situations like this, where, we were all asked to be completely locked down. Businesses were all asked to be locked down. Not a lot of businesses can operate from work from home. All those who are doing it at lower capacity, because we had never thought about this, and we were never prepared for all this. So today's topic is going to be, how can we, in these times when things are not clear, and as business owners, what is it that we can be doing to manage our businesses, so that when the lockdown gets over and once the uncertainty is not there, we not only survive but also thrive. So first is the problem for real? So a lot of people actually were thinking, it's okay that you have closed down. It took 20 days, or maybe now it will be 30 days for us to be closed down. And then when we open up, things will get back to normal. It is like, just going out on a vacation, taking a yearly break, and, break for 15-20 days and coming back to work. So is it that big a problem? Maybe, 15 days from my calendar, or 20 days or 1 month from my calendar is gone. But is that okay? When I go back, why wouldn't everything be as normal as earlier? So the most important thing is, there is a loss of revenue and there is a loss of business activity. So we are going to be losing at least 45 days of business activity at in completion. That is in the complete lockdown period. And after that also, we don't know when this lockdown gets over. And once we are back to work, we will still have that uncertainty whether this whether we can get into another situation of lockdown. So the loss of revenue has happened, and 45 days of revenue loss only even if we consider only 45 days, it goes to more than 10% or 12% of your business revenue. So 10-12% of business top line is gone. So if 10 or 12%, because not all of the businesses will be able to recover the top line which is already lost. In fact, the idea is that whatever is lost right now, we may just keep losing more as we go further, because things may not become just normal going back. Supply chain is going to be hugely disrupted. If we were importing from international markets, we don't know when those factories will start, because all over the world, all countries have been impacted at different levels. Specifically, if you are importing from Europe or US, these countries are going to take some time, because I have my clients and we have some people in US, and those people don't even want to talk about business right now, because they're so fearing about what's going to happen about them and their family, that business is the last thing in their mind, and this is going to be staying there. And a lot of businesses, um, they may not be able to operate at full capacity even for the next 5 to 6 months. So supply chain is going to be hugely disrupted. Second problem is a lot of people are sitting on inventory here, so they don't even know when this opens up, will demand be there. So they are sitting on inventory while they are not sure of demand, while they have already borrowed from banks and they have some interest kicking in. And some other businesses which had factory and which were into manufacturing, they have another problem. They had a lot of migratory laborers who had traveled all the way from UP, Bihar to their factories and were working. And with sudden lockdown happening and loss of activity and so much insecurity about to them, they've all gone back to their villages. Now, for them to come back from their villages is going to take a lot of assurance about their security of their health. So there is uh, insecurity about livelihood on one hand, and then there is insecurity of health on the other, and everybody would always give priority to their life first and then livelihood. So the owners will have to do some kind of a confidence building to see that all these people come back and come back to work. Second is fixed costs are already ticking. So, as we are telling, our sales have gone down, but our expenses below that are keeping on ticking. So we have our salaries which are going on, which have our rents which are going on. And the most killer thing is, for people who have borrowed, the interest is going on, So on one hand, your expenses keep going up, and on the other hand, your revenue is coming down and is becoming uncertain. So this is becoming a big problem, because right now fixed cost, the meter is already on while revenue is not happening. And there is still uncertainty about future. So we are already uncertain in terms of what's going to happen next. Like I told you, whether when is it going to open. First we all thought it will open on 15th, but now we hear that it's going to be opening only after 30th. So, and then when we get there, actually is it going to open on 30th? So when is it going to open? We don't know. We have no idea. And when if opens, whether it is going to shut down again for a few days, we have no idea. What happens when it opens? Do we have our customers in the market? Do we have a team coming back to work? Do we have what is the business that we built in? What happens to that? So there is a lot of uncertainty surrounding our business, surrounding the ecosystem, surrounding our banking lines, surrounding our customers, suppliers, uncertainty regarding the vendors, uncertainty regarding employees. So everybody is uncertain. We don't know whether we are going to go back to the same world, or this is going to be a different world to all together. So with so much uncertainty around, the problem is for real. So what is it that we need to be doing when we see so much uncertainty in our life? So when we feel कि हमारे पास business नहीं है, so what do? So we just hold on to what we have. So that's what we'll have to do. We have to hold on to most of our liquidity. So first thing is conserve cash, and cash is the king. So when I'm talking about cash, I'm talking about liquidity in business, which is your bank balances, which is your fixed deposits, which is your investments which can be liquidated, and which is the liquid that you have in your hand in your business. So we have always been talking, profit is the king, cash is the king, profit is the king, cash is the king. But I think this is the first time when we actually believe the value of cash is going to be much higher than we always thought. Because otherwise, even if our cash wasn't there in our bank account, as jugadus or as business owners, we would get cash in some manner. But right now, it's going to be very difficult to get more liquidity in your business. So important is conserve cash, because cash is going to be critical. We are going to take in detail what do we do about this cash, because that is the major idea of doing the webinar today. So we are going to take that in detail in the next slide. So take care of your customers. So, when we go back into our businesses, we are not sure whether, we'll be able to find new customers, because none of our customers would want to come back and, so look at yourself as a business owner. Would you want to go back and look out for new vendors right now, or would you want to first see whether, everything is right in place? So decisions about everything is going to take some time for people to start. So start getting new customers are going to take time, because all these customers are going to be thinking a lot about their business and all that. So inquiries will take some time to come. So what do we do in the interim? In the interim, see that all those people who have been our customers or who have our customers are reached out. So communication is going to be critical in these times. In these times of lockdown, just pick up a phone. So I know my clients, they have worked with so many people, over the years. Now what they have done is every day they make a list of 10, 12 people with whom they have worked and just reach out. So this is the right time to reach out, because we never had time to reach out to people while we were working. So this is the time your current customers, your old customers, just reach out to them, and they would also have the same kind of anxiety that you have, because they are also not sure what's going to happen. So when you at a business owner level to a business owner level talk, people open up and they talk, because as a business owner or as the leader of your organization, it's generally very lonely at the top. So you can't be talking about a lot of anxieties or fears that you had about your business to the team below. So, but at a peer-to-peer level, people are very comfortable and they are okay to talk. So take care of your customers, speak to them, communicate with them. It will only help you build relationships, because relationship is going to be the key right now. Because we don't want to lose any further business that is going to come from them. So that's the key. Keep your employee morale high. So, morale of your employees has to be high at this time. As much as we as business owners fear in terms of future, we don't know what's going to happen about the future. What do you think is going to be happening with the employees? They have so many media reports that's going around that they're going to be job cuts, they're going to be pay cuts, they're going to be furloughs that has already happened in US and UK. So, furloughs are where the government allows you to send somebody on a 3-month unpaid leave. When you compulsory tell people that you go for a 2-month, 3-month unpaid leave. So much happening around, so employees also don't know. Employees don't know whether they are going back and do they have a secure job. They don't know whether they're going back and then the company is going to be in shape. So employee morale is going to be at a, all-time low right now. And you can't win a battle when your soldiers have a low morale. So, we are in business and our employees are our soldiers. So we can't be going in the market with a low employee morale. So what do we do? Communicate. So when you pick up a phone and speak to some of your employees, when we talk, our anxiety level goes down, because it also makes them feel that there is somebody there to hear to them. Because if there is no communication from the top leadership, only negative things get into the mind of the employee. We are all human beings who think that when there is no news, it could be some bad news. So it is important that, you keep communicating to your employees. Be transparent with them. This is what is happening in the market. We have lost so many contracts. The key guys with whom we can speak. We have lost so many contracts. Some of our contracts are getting postponed. I'm not telling that you give them false hope about the future. Be transparent about them, but just show that you care about them and you always want to support them. So that feeling has to go to them. As an employer, we are wanting to take care of them, but the situation in the market has changed. So it's important that you keep your employees communication on and see that their morale is high. This is also time to work on your business. So whenever we meet specifically SME business owners, they are so busy about their business that they never have time to work on their business. They're always in their business, So, they are the people who are multifaceted entrepreneurs, who are problem solvers and can solve all problems in the business, whether it is a recruitment problem, whether it's a production problem, whether it's a marketing problem, whether it's a sales problem, whether it's a logistic problem, whether it's a finance problem. Any problem that you get on the table of a business owner or an entrepreneur is solved. So he's so much busy being in the business and trying to solve all the problems that he doesn't have time to look upon to his business from the top. So, he does not know what is the direction of the business. What is it that he had thought about doing it in this year, in the next 2-3 years, whether he is going in the right direction, whether the speed is right. So it's time to work on your business and see that the direction and the speed is right. So what is it that, you can work on your business? Maybe I'll give you a few pointers here in terms of what you can do. First and foremost is see that your business plan is well made right now. So it's the time that you have a great business plan done, because you have time to work on it and put your time to the detailing of a business plan. Now, all of you would be thinking, we have no idea in terms of what's going to be the sale. So how do I make a business plan? So there we need to make scenario working. What happens if my sales goes down by 15%? What happens if my sales go down by 30%? And what happens if my sales go down by 50%? So make different scenarios and make a plan to this, because once the business starts, and if the sales are down by 15%, 30%, 50%, or maybe it is constant or going up, you don't have time at that time to think what is it that I should be doing. So it's important that you have to do all those thinking right now only. So you would see a lot of large companies are coming out with a plan. So I was just reading a report from Bajaj Finance. They have all this scenario working. They are telling if the lockdown opens by 30th of April, this is what they anticipate. This is how much they may have to cut jobs. This is how much their net profit is going to be impacted. If it extends by one more month, when is it, what happens to the top line? When do they see the business coming normal? So there is so much detailing that is happening right now with large corporates. And that is what we as small and medium businesses should also do, that detailing. We may have our assumptions wrong, but at least we can plan our actions in terms of what we need to do when we reach there. Second is, a lot of organizations for small and medium enterprises are person dependent. There are people who have been working with us for long and they know how to get the thing done. So now is the time that we make this our organizations system dependent. So we always wanted to do it. We knew that we need to build process systems in a manner that anybody coming, leaving the organization does not have an impact. And we may also have built something, but it is the time to review it. If you have done it, just review it. If you have not done it, time to make your standard operating procedures. Who best to do it? Your team does not have full work. Have the senior team members start writing about standard operating procedures, because they know how it has to be done. Once they have documented it, you at the top can just have an overview of it and roll it out when the business opens. So the right time to have your standard operating procedures prepared. Also the right time to work on your data analytics. So you have worked with a lot of businesses, done a lot of projects earlier. This is the time to get back into data and see, where is it that you made money? Where is it that you didn't make money? Which product of yours made money? Which product of yours could not make money? Which geography made money for you? Which geography did not? So a lot of data is there, which we never had time to analyze. So right now, get into the depth of the data and see whether those data can give you an insights which we can use in the future. Another area which we could work on is on product definition. Whether we could do a better definition of a product with changing times. Do we think that a new product definition is required? Whether this market may require a little bit different product than what we are doing. So, time to get into detailing of creating your product and service in a better manner, so that, so idea is that once you hit the ground, you at that time don't have time to do it. You just keep executing at that time. So right now, do all the detailing, all the work on your business, because we have enough time. And then when the business starts, let us get on our roll. Now going to the most important thing is about cash flow management. So this is where we have all met, because we want to understand how do we manage our cash flows in these times, and what are the precautions that need to be taken. Now cash flow management would consist of two things. One is inflows and one is outflows. So let us take care of the outflows first, and then I'll take care of the inflows. So in the outflows, what is it that we need to do? One is the expense. So this is the biggest area of our cash flow outflow. So what happens is anything that goes into expense is generally not recoverable. So it is like, burning money. Now, where is that we are spending? So right now, we have to use 3 mantras and maybe 4. So first mantra is, first and foremost, look at whether we can eliminate this expense altogether. Now here, what I would say is that look at your business from an outsider's point of view and don't have preconceived notions in terms of what can happen and what cannot happen. Look at each line of your expense. Every line of your expense which is there has to be challenged again. We cannot have preconceived notion that this can change and this cannot change. Every line of expense need to see whether I can eliminate this completely right now. If no, can I renegotiate with the person who is providing the product or service? If no, whether I can defer this expense to a future date so that I hold on to my cash flows. If that is not possible, can I share these expenses? Sharing it means like co-working spaces, getting some consultants on board, irrespective of full-time employees, or in something in a manner where some part of your expense, if you have a large factory, can you take some job work if you think your capacity is not getting utilized? So anyway, where we can share our expenses. So rent, interest, and salaries are most bigger expenses. What I have seen my clients do are right now they have eliminated all their marketing related expenses. They are not eliminated. They have for now stalled all their marketing related activities for the next 3-4 months, thinking that let us get into marketing when we are sure about our cash flows. Similarly, all other expenses we have to categorize whether these are must have or good to have. Must have are expenses which are needed for running of the business in a healthy manner. Good to have are those expenses which, if you have, it is good in your business. It gives you, good feel about your business, but they are not necessary for running your business. So all the good to have should be eliminated right now, or should be at least deferred. The must haves to be taken care. So here it is also very important that while we are eliminating expenses, see that our core business is intact. We are not, cutting all levels of expenses. So don't get on the other end where you are cutting your expenses so much that while the business gets back to normal, we have lost our competitive advantage in the market. So see that, those things are taken care while we are ruthless about cutting our expenses. So a very important expense line here is salaries. So, we say that as finance people, we are very unemotional about businesses. So we look at businesses only from profit and cash flows. So if business is making profit, it is good. If it is bringing more cash in my bank account, it is good. Otherwise, I don't like businesses. So when we give our consulting to clients, we say that, we are the external people and we are going to be upfront about you and tell you whether this is a good expense for your business or not. But when I'm talking about salaries, we have a little bit of a different take on that. See, when we are talking about salaries, these people are not Excel lines. These are not expense lines where we think that, we will completely minus, 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 and also if you are asking somebody to leave the job right now, maybe not the right time for him to get another job as well. So what can we do? So we have to look at this, because behind every person, there is a family which he is supporting. So again, here we cannot have a straight answer for a solution for everybody. First is, if it is only a cash flow problem, we think that by the end of the year, our revenues are going to be more or less similar, because we have some contracts which are long-term contracts. It is only that, everything is going to get deferred. So if it is going to get deferred, defer a part of the salary. But if you think revenues are going to come down drastically, then you will have to cut salaries. Now you have an option between cutting jobs and cutting salaries. So I would prefer you cut salaries first and see that the other people are accommodated in a manner that you can allow them to transition to another organization. And also, those people who we always felt, ye bhi ek project karke dekhte, or let us try this as well. Those people who were on the periphery, not actually in the core of operations, you could think about either moving them into the core operations, or seeing in your circle whether you can get them a job and moving them out. So with salary, let us have a balance between our heart and our mind. While for other expenses, we have to be completely ruthless about cutting our expenses. If our business will survive, everybody survives. So we cannot also become very emotional about expenses or salaries and say कि नहीं मैं किसी को कट नहीं करूँगा, मैं सबको रखूँगा क्योंकि मेरे ही लोग हैं. But if business will not be there, who will work in that business? So that is more bad for all your employees. So see that you are actually protecting your business so that your business survives at this point of time. If it survives, for that, not taking any decisions on the expense is like a slow poison. So don't give slow poison to your business. And I understand that, as a business owners, we are all optimistic people. We've always built businesses on optimism, telling you, let's look at only growth. And reduction of expenses or cost optimization is a very negative way to look at businesses. And I understand as business owners, you don't want to do it. But this is not the time when you can be very optimistic about it. You need to actually be pessimistic, and you need to not be pessimistic, but you have to understand that this is not going to be a short haul, and we may require some time to get back to normal. So do whatever is necessary so that you can survive this place, survive this time, and once you have survived, you are definitely going to be thriving later on. So government dues and compliances. So I understand that we have attendees from the other countries as well, but right now I'll be talking more from the Indian business point of view. So government dues. So our finance minister came and gave some benefits for the businesses. They were divided into two parts. First part was on GST, and the second part was on TDS. On GST, the finance minister has announced that every business which has a turnover of less than 5 crores may postpone their GST payment for after till June. So you may not pay in April and May, you can pay directly in June, and no interest will be charged on it. While if your turnover is above 5 crore rupees, a lesser interest, which generally is 18%, only 9% interest will be charged, which is effectively 0.75% per month will be charged, and you will be allowed to pay in June. And similarly for TDS, you can postpone your payment till June, and a 9%, a reduced interest at the cost of 9% will be charged, and you can make your payment in June. So what government has given is, government has given you time to pay, and they have asked you to pay later on if you want. So now our advice here would be that, since in these times we don't know how the cash flows are going to work out in future, take the benefit of whatever the government is doing. If the government is giving you 3 months, use that 3 months. If you have a lot of money in your bank account, then it is different. But otherwise, if you are not sure, at least for the April amount, you should not pay till May, because that is when you will have an idea in terms of how your cash flows is. And 0.75% is not a big amount, but if you give it, it will give you a lot of peace of mind, because peace of mind is very important for entrepreneurs to have. So postpone all your government dues. If government is giving you an opportunity to use some cash flows, please do that. And we understand that a lot of more shops are going to come, and a lot of more measures are coming. Maybe there could be an announcement coming as soon as tomorrow by the government to support businesses as well. So another is on the loan repayment. So again, as our finance minister came and announced some benefits to business owners, similarly we had the RBI governor come and announce some measures. So they were based on two levels. One was on the CRR and the SLR, and the other was on the repo rate and the reverse repo rate. I will not get into details in terms of what CRR, SLR are. I will just tell you what it means. So when in CRR and SLR they have cut down the rates, it means that the banks will have more money to lend. So they have to hold on less money in government securities, and they will have more money. So what the government has effectively done is they have infused liquidity with the banks. Now banks have money, and so they will be able to lend. What they have also done is they have reduced the repo rates and considerably reduced the reverse repo rate. Now repo rate is what at the rate at which the RBI lends to the banks, and reverse repo rate is at what interest the banks earn from keeping their money at RBI. So that reverse repo rate is considerably reduced. So now what they have done is they have made it very not profitable for banks to keep the money with RBI, and they have reduced the repo rate. It means that the borrowing from RBI is going to be cheaper. Now that means that banks are going to be borrowing at cheap amount, while banks will have more liquidity. So the idea is the government wants more liquidity to be given as loans and support to the business at a reduced rate. So that is the intention with which the RBI governor has come out, and let's see how it gets implemented, because RBI can only do as much as giving money to the bank. It cannot further see how that money is getting disbursed. But they have tried to infuse a lot of liquidity, because they know all businesses are going to need some liquidity right now. Another important thing that they have done is they have got in moratorium. So a moratorium in simple words is where you don't have to pay installments for some time. So they have given a 3-month moratorium to all businesses. So for all term loans that you have taken, where you have fixed installment, you may not pay for 3 months. And for all CC facilities or OD facilities where you have interest being debited in your account, you may not pay your interest for 3 months. So the government says that you can use that cash flow for 3 months, use that moratorium, and pay only after June. After June, when you go back, you don't have to pay it at one go. Your installments get added. So if earlier your loan was for 5 years, you will have to pay for additional few months, so that the tenure of your loan will get stretched. So it is not a bullet payment at the end of the 3 months. So here again, like we had a view that government dues and compliances you shouldn't pay because the rate of interest is not that heavy, and government has given you an option. Here we don't have a standard view for everything. If you are actually sitting on cash and you have FDs in your balance sheet, fixed deposits and liquid investments like liquid funds, then I would suggest that you go out and pay, because here there is no waiver of interest. And in fact, interest is going to be charged on the entire installment amount. Your installment amount consists of principal as well as interest. So once you push that, you'll again have to pay interest on the entire installment amount. And so, it's going to entail an additional interest burden. So if you have money sitting in your balance sheet, go out and repay. But if you are not sure and you think, I am not sure whether I should be doing so, if there is a doubt in your mind, my advice would be, then don't pay. If you have doubt, don't pay at least for 1 month. Don't pay at least the first installment, so that by May we will have more clarity, because whether your incomings are coming as planned or not. If they are not coming, then you may have to use that moratorium. So take a conscious call looking in what your balance sheet is, and if you are not very sure, at least postpone it for 1 month. So vendor payment. So now vendor payment is also like your salaries. This is there is no, I cannot tell you that just don't pay your vendors, because those are the guys who will not even try, cannot even enforce much, because the IBC has also changed. The law, while you could take somebody to NCLT, the limit was 1 lakh rupees, while the government has increased that to 1 crore rupees. So not unless you have dues of excess of 1 crore rupees, nobody can take you to NCLT, while you can also not take anybody to NCLT for your dues, at least for the next 6 months. So enforcement by vendors are going to be difficult. So, and also what happens, how does our economy work? Our economy works in circulation. The money keeps getting circulated from one person's hand to the other person's hand, and that is how the economy was working. Now the problem is that the whole circulation has stopped, and when we go back, people are going to be so fearful that they're going to be holding upon to whatever they have, and unless this circulation starts, business will not revive. So that's the idea by which banks are trying to infuse liquidity, so that with that liquidity, the circulation starts, the confidence builds up, and people will start using the liquidity that they hold. So like we have vendors, we are also vendors to some customer. We are also we are also vendors to somebody else. So I would say that don't hold on to completely to vendor payments. Do a grading there. Take care of the small vendors first. People who are small, whose survival will be at stake, whose they have to take care of their household expenses because of small business that they run. Try and give those people their money early, so that they at least survive this. For the bigger ones, again, it's all relationship. You have worked with them earlier. Talk to them and see that you can defer a payment for some time. Give some amount to them now. Give some amount of them in future as things ease out. So vendors do a easing kind of a thing. Don't just completely stop. But I would say that take care of the small vendors here. So expansion and capital expenditure. So here, if you are thinking of expanding in a new city, starting a factory, doing something else, my recommendation would be don't do it right now. You shouldn't do it because this is not the right time. We may say that good businesses are built when there is a downturn, but right now we don't know how big the downturn is, and we don't know how long this is going to go. So at least for the next 3 to 6 months till we have clarity, just stall all your expenses, get back to the drawing board and do more detailing, but don't put orders for capital expenditures. Hold on to your capital expenditures right now. If you're in the middle of a capital expenditure, then you have to take a conscious call in terms of how much more money is going to be needed to start it, and whether what is the return that you will start generating there, or whether you should not put the additional money, and whatever you have put, you should just hold on for a couple of months. So that may take some calculations, and that may take some detailed study. But if you have not started, at least don't start it for the next 3 to 6 months till you have clarity about your cash flows, about your business, about your revenues. So next is on cash outgoings. Now we have cash incomings. Since we had so many outgoings, we don't have so many incomings as business. So what we have is our customers. So like we had our vendors, we are vendors to people, and we have to go them, use our relationship of all these years. Legal may not help at this time much, because legal process anyways in India takes a long time. Use your relationship more. But if you think that person has money and still not giving, and you want to get legal, you should do that. But it may not be a short-term measure, but we may have to go there. But what a lot of people around as our clients are seeing are they're offering some cash discounts so that their liquidity is eased. Now these cash discounts are ranging from 3% to 6-7%, which people are telling that you give me so much money and I'll give you a discount, because people feel that money in their bank account is required right now. Profit may come later on as well. So similar thing, if your vendor is using it for it, you may also avail that discount. If you have some money in your bank account, have some FDs. If a vendor offers you some discount, please do take it, because you may also have to offer some discounts to your customers. So use discounts, use your relationships, and get as much money possible into your bank account. Second is apply for enhancement of banking lines. So most of business owners have CC facilities. I would not tell that you take a disbursement of a term loan or something, but at least reach out to your bankers. In these times, your banker is going to be your best friends. Banks are getting liquidity from RBI. Government is going to use banks to dispose liquidity into the system to ease our businesses, but banks will have only that much bandwidth to reach out to businesses. So at this point of time, whoever has good relationship with bank, who is in constant touch with the bank, who is very transparent with the banks, will get a benefit of it. So be regularly in touch with the banker. This is the time to build relationships and get back to your banker. It is not only about relationships that bank is going to give you money, but a banker who is having transparency in terms of what's happening around is more comfortable. So be transparent about this is happening in your business. Some of my contracts are getting postponed. This is what I'm doing. So let him have more confidence about what is happening in your business. So here also just take an enhancement and keep it. You may not draw it down completely, but use that as a buffer, because that will just bring a peace of mind to you. And as I say, peace of mind is the most important thing for any entrepreneur. If the entrepreneur has peace of mind, he can do a lot of creative stuff. But if in the morning till 12:30 or 1 o'clock, you are only thinking about how to arrange money to take care of payments, your creativity is going to be lost, and it will definitely impact your businesses. So see that if you have enhancement, if you can reach your bankers right now, this is also the right time, because banks also are not flooded. Just make a small note about your business. Even the RBI has said that, given guidelines that working capital, the drawing power calculations will have to be redone by banks, because now there has changes in the way, all businesses may have a stretched working capital. So RBI says that as the banks go back, if you see there is a stretched working capital, support businesses. So look at your internal assessment. If you can assess your working capital, reach out to the banks and see if you can get an enhancement on the banking lines. And dispose unproductive assets. So a lot of businesses have some unproductive assets, because when the going is good, you just keep accumulating assets. So you could have some extra flats, you could have some extra offices that you have kept. Future ke liye kaam lagega. I'll use it when things are growing. This is the time to just get rid of those unproductive assets if they are not adding any value to your business. See if you can get buyers. Not getting buyers in these markets are also not going to be easy. But if you can get a buyer, if you can dispose those unproductive assets, money in your bank account is going to be more helpful than any of those assets. This is the time when businesses with strong balance sheet, strong liquidity will just go surpass other businesses. This is the time when balance sheet strength is going to hold a lot of differentiation between two businesses. So just few closing remarks before I open it for question and answers. First is keep an eye on market share. So, when businesses are going down, when markets are going down, when traditionally the whole industry is shrinking, it's okay that your turnover goes down. It's okay that your revenue goes down, but just keep an eye on your market share. So if you are not a great player, not a very big player in the market, and you don't have an idea of your market share, but at least you have idea in terms of your market share compared to a few competitors of yours. So just see that, in these markets, if you're able to hold on to your market share or better your market share, chances of bettering your market share is also there, because a lot of weak businesses are going to die. I'm sorry to say, but a lot of weak businesses are going to die. Businesses which are highly leveraged, a lot of high debt on their balance sheet may not be able to survive this time. So this is also the time, if you have a healthy balance sheet, you can even increase your market share. So just keep an eye on your market share. If you have a better market share and when the industry grows, you will be at a stronger position to take a bigger pie of the industry. Prepare for a V-shaped recovery. So we don't know. Chances are that when things open, we may just have a V-shape. As fast as things went down, it may just go up as fast as early. So a lot of talk about changing supply chains globally. Businesses around the world have understood how risky it is to depend on one country, and China specifically, for all their business activities. They want to spread their businesses out of China. In fact, the Japan government has announced a 2.2 trillion fund for helping its businesses move their facilities out of China back into Japan or other countries. So they're telling that if you want to move out of China, I'm giving you, they're infusing some 2.2 trillion only for that. And if Japan is doing, I'm sure most of the other economies are doing it. So this is the time when a lot of businesses will move out of China. And I think India is best poised for that, one of the better poised. And if we as entrepreneurs, we as Indians always have that entrepreneurship spirit, which is best. If we can use it and use that opportunity, if a lot of things are coming to India, are we ready to take the benefit of it? So be prepared. Be prepared that this could go up as fast as possible, or it could be a U-shaped recovery wherein you are at the bottom for some time, and after that you start recovering. So we don't know, but be prepared for a V-shaped recovery. Protect key employees. So while we are on the cost rationalization spree and while we are cutting cost for every employee or cutting jobs, see that your key employees are protected. See, all our businesses have a competitive advantage because of the team with whom we are working. Alone as an entrepreneur would have been, we wouldn't have been great. We need our team around. We need key employees for us to, support us in business, and our businesses have been built. So this is also the time to see that, these key employees are protected. Don't lose these key employees, because, getting back to normal times with losing your key employees is going to be bad. And it is also a good time to attract new talent. We always wanted some good talent available in the market. We thought it was very expensive. ये आदमी हमको कभी मिल नहीं सकता. They are very expensive. This is the time you can give offers, and you will not believe that they will accept the offers even not matching the market price, because a lot of other companies are going to be shaky. In those terms, there may be employees who would want to switch boats. And if you can build a credible platform of your business, you may get to attract good talent as well. So if your balance sheet supports, you have strength, use this time to get some good employees on your board as well. So look for opportunities and stay positive. Like I said, there may be some new opportunities opening. Online is going to be a new big business. Everything which is no touch, everything which is delivery may just look for new opportunities. Some industries which may suffer a lot, like travel and hospitality are there, but there may be some opportunities which may just open up. You may also find some opportunities in your industry or related industries. So just as entrepreneurs, just be open to look out for opportunities and stay positive, because the whole organization's mood depends upon your mood. If you are positive, the whole organization stays positive. So be positive, look out for opportunities, and that's it from us. And we believe that it's going to be a fabulous recovery for all of us, and we are going to be prospering on for our businesses. For any help, you may just reach out to us, and we will now open it for question and answers for all of you. So Janvi, can you just help moderate the questions?
Yeah, sure. So we have 3 questions in the Q&A section. The first question is there any specific advice to small scale developers? Any of you can.
So I'll try to answer this.
Yeah.
So real estate may take a hit because of this. So what's happened is, because profits are not going to be great, business owners may not have a lot of confidence into buying real estate. Specifically commercial space, office real estate may take some time, because a lot of people have realized that a lot of things can be done from home, and whether do they actually require an expensive office for that. Similarly, there could be some job losses, and there could be some pay cuts. So the salaried class may also just postpone their buying of residences for some time. So this is going to be a little bit of uncertain time for the real estate. What you can do right now is maybe collaborate with bigger players. We have seen that for one of our clients, they collaborated with one of the big corporate real estate developers, and the sales went up. And second is, if you could already start approaching the banks and see that if you have certain limits so that you can hold on, give better discounts, have better broking houses to, real estate brokers to work with you, so that you could give them higher brokerages. In fact, one of our client who has a brokerage business is getting into 4 to 5% for every deal that they are doing right now. So the brokerage rates have gone up because people want cash in there, because everybody is seeing that sales may not be easy. So you could either use services of broker, give them higher brokerage and see that sales are closed, approach banks and see that you have enhanced banking lines so that you have a better runway. And third is, try to collaborate with a big name like a corporate, because they have strong balance sheets and it's easier for them to raise funds and also easier for them to sell in the market.
So the next question, while we talk about sustainability, is it a good time to start a new business, or is it even wise to think about it?
So a lot of good businesses have been built during the downturn. You will hear stories that General Motor came in during the 1930 depression, while Airbnb started in the 2008 financial crisis. A lot of great businesses have been built. Right now, the best thing is, if you have some money, you could get the best of the team. Get of best the team, and also a lot of businesses. I am pretty active in the startup space. So a lot of some good businesses which were getting built over a period of time suddenly find themselves running out of cash, and are available for either buyout or majority stake. So if you are having some kind of funds to invest, maybe this could be a nice time, because everything will be cheap. Team will be cheap, everything will be cheap, and right now you can actually work. So a lot of businesses which are in the startup model, which were growing very fast, find themselves stuck because they went into a different orbit, and now very difficult for them to slow down. But if you have some good business idea, you could start slow, test market, and then maybe go fast. But it may be a good idea to think about starting a new business.
The next question might be connected to what you answered right now. Newly relevant yet previously existed companies have emerged, such as 3M, which manufactured N95 masks, as well as the Zoom app, of which the subscription spiked up and they overtook Skype. Should we wait before investing in such companies which became relevant during COVID-19?
So my personal advice again here would be don't go to investing on based on seasonality. I think the euphoria is already there, and based on the euphoria, a lot of valuations have already gone up. And this is going to be a very volatile market going forward, because the highs are going to be very high, lows are going to be very low. Last 15 days, we saw one of the biggest falls in Indian stock market history.